Wednesday morning, and thank you so much for joining us for this breaking news report. I'm Whitney Sullivan. Right now, Sheriff Lott is getting ready to hold a press conference about an officer-involved shooting. Now, details are limited at this time, but we have been told that a K-9 officer and a suspect were hurt, but details leading up to how they were hurt and what exactly happened have not been shared at this time. Now, here's what we do know, and we want to bring you video fresh into our newsroom from that crime scene area. We're going to go ahead and join Sheriff Lott now as he begins.
About the incident we had early this morning. I have a black band on my badge. There was a young deputy with Florence County Sheriff's Department that was killed yesterday. So I just ask everybody to remember him, his family, and Florence County Sheriff's Department in the prayers. Last week was Police Week, where we honored and remembered those who lost their life in the line of duty, and also our police dogs who lost their life in the line of duty. I'm standing here this morning, again, by the grace of God, that I'm not talking about one of our deputies being killed or another police dog being killed. Could have happened last night. We were very fortunate, very lucky. We did have one of our police dogs that did get shot and got injured, but our deputies were not injured. It started about 12:15 last night off of Hunt Club Road. It's a combination apartment complex and condos. We got a 911 call to our dispatch from a citizen that lived there. Before we play any of these videos, people need to know what they're going to see is not entertainment. It is not to make anybody feel good either way whatsoever, but I think it's important that the community hears what transpired last night and sees what transpired last night, so the community will understand what happened last night, the actions that our deputy took, and why he did what he did. I will tell you that I've spoken to the family of the young man that was killed last night and talked with them, explained to them the basics that I could. We'll talk to them also about getting together at some point in the very near future and letting them see all the stuff that we've got also. There's no reason to keep it hidden or secret or concealed from them. By doing what we're doing this morning, I hope will prevent anybody from creating a narrative that is not true, that where deputies stood over someone and shot them while they're on the ground or shot somebody in the back. What you're going to see is what actually happened. The facts, we operate on facts. We don't operate on rumors and so forth. And one thing we've always done at Richland County Sheriff's Department is put information out as quickly as we can when there's been a critical incident. That way our community knows really what happened and not have somebody create a story. We will do this investigation and gather the facts. The facts will be presented to the solicitor's office, who will determine that it's if it's a justified shooting or not. The coroner's office will do their investigation, and then our Citizens Advisory Council will also look at what I will show you today, but they will see a lot more than that. So our Citizens Advisory Council. So the checks and balances that are in place are 3 different independent entities that will look at what happened this morning, and that way the citizens of Richland County can feel very confident that this thing has been thoroughly looked at by different individuals, different entities, and their findings will be made. So it starts off with a 911 call, and I will say the dispatcher did a great job last night. I know sometimes they are criticized, but last night this dispatcher and this citizen did a great job. The citizen's voice that you hear will not be identified. He knows that his voice is fixing to be made public, and he understands it. And we told him how much we appreciated what he did. So we'll play.
Where's your emergency? I'm at 7602 Hunt Club Road. I saw
condo complexes, and one of the neighbors just, I forgot to lock my door, and so it appears to be two individuals going around checking cars, and looks like they actually went and still around here, were roaming around.
Okay, what do they look like, sir?
Well, one has a red hoodie and one has a black hoodie. I didn't see them. I saw one person from a distance. I'm actually, I went and checked my vehicle, and then I'm just checking like the community area, and I saw one individual walking around. He looked like he had a backpack on, and then he disappeared amongst some parked vehicles. So I don't know where he went. I didn't see the one with the red hoodie. Black hoodie one is still in the complex. I mean, I don't know if they live here or if they're just walking around checking vehicles. So I don't know where they went. The one person I saw, I was probably like not even 100 feet away from him when I got in my vehicle, and he was walking down a row of cars, and he just didn't. I think he probably ducked down amongst the cars. I didn't want to stop and get out or anything like that and try to look for him, but my center console was open. One of the removable trays was in the passenger seat. I see two people now in the parking lot walking toward the entrance. One's got a red hoodie, one's got a black hoodie.
Walking towards which
They're
entrance?
actually walking out toward the entrance right now. So,
Listen to me. Which entrance?
toward the entrance toward Hunt Club Road.
Okay.
I mean, they're walking out right now.
I got units
Both of
coming.
them had,
I got units coming, sir.
Went back to my apartment. I'm at the corner, but I can still see toward the entrance, and they're still walking toward the entrance. That's Hunt Club Road, yes.
Can you tell they're a male or female?
They're two males. They look like they're going back. There's when you come in, there's a pool on the right, and they look like they stopped going toward the entrance and went toward the pool area. They're yelling, get out. They're yelling, get out, get out. It looks like there's more than two people. I just heard shots fired. I just heard shots fired.
All right, sir. Be safe where you are, sir.
All right, before we show the next one again, I want to caution those who are watching this. You're going to see someone lose their life. It is not something that we go out and hope that we do. It's something we go out and we hope that we do not have to do. But individuals make the choice that puts us in a position to where we have to do what we have to do to protect the lives of our deputies and our citizens. And again, I've spoken to the parents, and they're probably watching this right now, and I know this is very painful. You're going to see the body cam of K-9 Officer Jeffcoat. K-9 Officer Barry is with him, so we have two K-9 people, but we only have one dog. The entrance that the caller was talking about this is the entrance. Hunt Club Road would be here, and this is where the individuals that the caller described as walking. And the deputies see them almost immediately as they get there.
Hey, stop. You run, you with a dog bit. Get on the ground. On the ground. Down, down, stop, stop, stop. Get down, get down, get down. You run, you with a dog bit too. Contact, shots fired.
Okay, the first two shots were fired by this man here. One shot hit the dog. The other shot was directed at the deputy. This is the gun that this individual has in his hand. Jeffcoat had already shot prior to you seeing this frame. It was very quick, but this is the gun. I'm going to continue. You can see again the gun, and as he's laying on the ground, there's the gun also. This is a bullet that we recovered at the scene. It actually has hair from K9 Cairo that was shot, and that's the gun that was recovered from the individual. This is Cairo at the CVET. Cairo was shot in the ear. This is the ear being stitched up. 2 individuals that ran, we apprehended one of them very quickly, and that is John Williams, who's 20 years old. He has no criminal record. He's been charged with breaking into motor vehicles. The other one that you saw run that had the gun is Mr. George Darby. He's 20 years old. He does have previous arrest. He was arrested in December of last year for having a stolen pistol on him. That charge was dismissed in April of this year. That's Williams. He has 2 counts now, but there will be additional counts of breaking in. You know, breaking into vehicles has plagued not only our community but throughout the United States. Every night, you know, I've stood up here previously and talked about how we have people that go through subdivisions, apartment complexes, just pulling on handles and open doors and going in and stealing whatever's doing. But I've also talked about how these young people with guns and how these guns end them up in either 1 or 2 places, either in the cemetery or in prison. And unfortunately, the gun that you saw earlier caused someone to lose their life. Jeff Coates been in law enforcement for 8 years, been with us for the past 3 years. Barry has been with us for 10, he's been in law enforcement 10 years, been with us for the past 5 years. Cairo is a Belgian Malinois, it's been with us for 5 years. Again, this is not something that we look forward to do, but I'm thankful that I'm standing here not talking about either one of those officers being killed or our police dog being killed. But unfortunately, a young man did lose his life by some decisions that he made last night. Questions?
Do we know how many shots were fired towards the deputy and the canine?
2. Okay, thank y'all.
All right, we just heard from Sheriff Lott giving us details about the officer-involved shooting that happened around 12:15 this morning. Now, one of the biggest things we have learned is that one person did die, one of the suspects who's been identified as DeGeorge Darby, a 20-year-old. Now, here's something that Sheriff Lott has been saying for years, and especially recently, is the fact that young people have these guns, and they're either going to end up in the cemetery or prison. And he says this is an example of that right now. There's been plenty of times where we've interviewed him and he has said that we are losing a generation to gun violence. So if you're just joining us, this is what we know. It happened around 12:15 this morning. The sheriff started the press conference, or a little bit into the press conference, giving us a listen to the 911 call that sparked the officers responding. That caller, who will not be identified, did say that they believe there were 2 people who were opening up car doors. The deputies responded, and when they got there, we have learned that 2 shots were coming from one of the suspects, or allegedly the suspect's gun. One hit the K9 Cairo in the ear, and the other shot was toward the deputy, and that's when they fired their weapons. Now, this is an investigation that is still ongoing. In fact, Sheriff Lott said that they are going to be very transparent about everything that has unfolded early this morning, and they actually have 3 independent entities that are going to look into this investigation. You have the solicitor's office that's going to determine whether or not this was a justified shooting. The coroner's office will continue their investigation. He also said all of this information will be overturned to the Citizens Advisory Council, and he said he will make all of that information, their findings, made available to the public. Now, as you can hear in Sheriff Lott's voice, this was a very, very heavy press conference. conference because, again, we are talking about the loss of life. He says this is not something that they want to have to do. However, the way the situation unfolded early this morning did lead to one person losing their life. And he says they have been in contact with Mr. Darby's family and that they will be talking with them, turning everything over to them and walking with them through the best that they can when it comes to this situation. Now, something else to note, that another person was arrested, another 20-year-old. He is facing 2 counts. His name is John Williams, of breaking into cars. But Sheriff Lott also said that it's very likely that he is going to face more charges as this investigation unfolds. Now, we sent our team to this area, which we are told it's a mixture of apartment complexes and condos where all of this unfolded early this morning, and our team there saw a deputy vehicle still out there. There's a lot of crime scene tape that is still up because, again, this is a very active investigation, and our photographer was actually able to talk to a resident in that area, and we want you to listen into this.
I heard about 4 shots. The first one went off and it was about a 2-second pause before I heard the last 3, and once I heard the first one, I hurried up and lifted up the curtain and looked out, and I seen the police shoot the guy. He was standing right there by the trash cans, and as I was lifting up the curtains, I heard the last 3 go off and the man was kind of hitting the ground.
Again, you are listening to a resident that we spoke with just a few hours ago who told us about their experience when all of this unfolded. Now, here's an update regarding the canine. As we do know, Sheriff Lott said the canine was injured. The canine's name is Cairo and has been with the department for 5 years. Cairo shot in the ear but is expected to make a full recovery. We also know that canine specialist Jeff Coate and Barry were the handlers that were out there who responded to this scene. Now, again, News 19 is going to stay on top of this and bring you the latest with everything that has unfolded with this situation. But we have learned that there was an officer-involved shooting early this morning out of Hunt Club Road in Columbia. One of the suspects has died. He's been identified as 20-year-old DeGeorge Darby. Another suspect has been arrested as well. Continue to stay with News 19 as we will bring you both the latest on this on air, online, and on WLTX Plus. And coming up on News 19 at noon, we're going to have a live report breaking down the latest from this investigation.